Alright, so in our last videos we were using scientific notation to describe very large quantities or very large numbers, but we can do it for very small numbers as well. And so that's what we're going to be working with today. So our key concept is that we're going to express very small numbers in scientific notation. So when we mean very small numbers, we mean we would think of it as a big decimal, is what you guys would tell me, because the decimal would go for a while. And so very similar to large numbers, we know we're in scientific notation if our first factor is greater than 1 but less than 10. So that means I need to move my decimal to between the 2 and the 3. So I know that I'm going to have 2.3, and then I'm just going to keep the 4 behind the 3. And then I just have to, and we know it's going to be times the power of 10. And then to know what my power is, I'm going to count the number of decimal moves. So 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal moves. And because it's a decimal, a very small number, our exponent is going to be a negative. So if you remember our table from 4.1, the smaller our number got, or the further it became a decimal, then we ended up with negative exponents to describe our number. So, expressing very small numbers in scientific notation, again, we want that number, that first factor, to be between greater than 1 but less than 10, and then a product with a power of 10, and in this case that would be 10 to the negative 4. And if you remember from chapter 3, negative exponents were moved to the bottom. Now here we're going to leave them where they are, but when you think about it, really what we're saying here is 2.34 times 1 over 10 to the 4th, which would be the same as taking 2.34 divided by that number. Alright, so here's our first example. I know I'm going to move my decimal over here to behind the 4, so I know I'm going to have 4 times. You could do 4.0, but it is okay just to have that whole number. 4 is between 1 and 10, so we're good there. Times 10, and then I'm going to count how many decimal moves. So 1, 2, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decimal moves. And since this starts out as a decimal, we're going to have negative 7 as our exponent. And that's how we write a number from standard form into scientific notation. In the next video, we'll talk about going from scientific notation to standard form. So, until I see you again.